Hey gang, Kevin here, Life22, and just touching base with you. So today I am doing a more in-depth dive into the Silva UltraMind ESP System. Now I did a video review of this a while ago, and over the last 6 months I want to say I spent about, just as I was talking about it, I did some more research, I tried some things, I went a week using the ESP method, going to level, and then I would see the results, and then I would spend 2 weeks doing it, and then I would try to test the results for a couple weeks, and it was, I want to say it was about 2 months worth of weeks throughout a 6-month period, actually going to level, and trying it, and but I gave it, a conscious effort, and I feel like this is gonna be my honest review of it. I feel like I don't see the exact results and correlations that they describe in the book. Now, obviously, I didn't try every little method. I wasn't trying to pick winning, teams in sports bets. Obviously, that's the golden rule: is do something that's going to help everybody as a whole, and is not just for personal gain, and is not going to hurt anyone. And obviously, you could make the argument that me winning a big sports bet helps not just me but my family, and it helps my community because I spend dollars in my community, or and maybe I used maybe it was a huge bet and I was able to put a down payment on another rental property which provided another family with a home, or I renovated a dilapidated house that helped my, what I mean? You could make that argument at the same time that any time that you win something, somebody else loses something, right? So obviously it's either the online sports book that loses money, or but the house never loses. So essentially by you winning is that there's like a natural equilibrium to the world. So somebody else out there is losing. Is that partly your fault for winning the sports bet? Things like that. So so, and I didn't try the dowsing rod scenario where I was looking for my keys or something and enchanting a dowsing rod and then going to level and then using the dowsing rod to point in the right direction, Jonelle Lytle had described in one of the chapters. But so that aside, I did try to for one example, I have a family member going through some mental stuff right now, and sorry, I hear kids yelling in the background. I got a family member going through some stuff right now. I had a few other people in my life that I was trying to help with some stuff, so I went to level to try to get them the help that they to try to help them with their issues. And what I found was going to level was more like me just locking myself into a meditated state, and just focused internally, and tried to work out problems by I think one of the methods says to suggest to a family member or friend, or I think Jonelle Lytle mentions that I think it was a friend or her brother-in-law or something was smoking and was of poor health, and she just went to level and suggested to him not to smoke anymore, and that wasn't really that wasn't really the case that I found. Now, obviously, the counter argument to this is, well, you've only been trying this, blah blah blah, for a short period of time. These people have been doing it for years, and their experience at level, and that's going to be the counter argument to my observation. But then in my observation, these people just tried the system and instantly saw results, or saw minute results, and then they kept building and building and building, and they it just like, and so now they're at the level that they are. So and I didn't notice minor results. I didn't notice mediocre results. I noticed like 0 results from going to level, other than, and I will get to this, so other than my outlook on the situations in front of me. So I do think that this system was helpful in helping me organize my thoughts, clear my head, and try to like psychoanalyze myself, the situation, and it did bring me ease, and it made me calm, cool, and collective in a lot of different situations. And that is a benefit, right? But I don't think it's the actual system. I think it's a byproduct of actually just like meditation. So I think that me locking myself in my head, going through a scenario where I was like visualizing, like opening a door, dealing with this problem. Problems got enough of my, attention for the day, close the door, walk down a hallway, open another door, right? Like I created a visualization in my head, at which point I went through the, and worked on the Silva, to address these different problems. And that, I think that just cleared my mind to be able to handle them better, and I was more prepared for them. I don't think it was the actual process of going to level. I don't feel like it was, I do feel like this was beneficial for me because there's a lot of serious personal stuff that I had to go through with these family members, with these different situations that I have going on in my life, and I think it did help me better mentally prepare myself. I was calm, cool, and collective in certain situations where I could have snapped and gone off the handle. I feel like my patience has been better, and obviously dealing with those situations in a patient and calm manner has also allowed me to expand my ability to be patient and calm and cool and collective in all of those types of situations moving forward, because now I have more experience doing that. So was this a step up? Yes. And now as I experience more things that need me to have a cool, calm head and assess the situation from like that perspective, I think that it did do me well. I don't think that going to level and speaking to the higher power or whatever they're really like, kind of like I feel like they've taken their system and they, oh, it's a higher power. Like, for a little old lady that, that would be God. For, a person in a different country, it might be, a Yahweh, or, not different country, but, like you go to different parts of the world and they've got, like you go somewhere and they're, like they see the higher power, as Buddha, versus like, it's just like, you go and try it in different areas. Like, if I could think of my grandmother using the system, she'd be like, oh, it's Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, that's the higher power. That's what they're talking about. I think they just use those phrases because they don't know what it is. And by keeping it vague, it allows them to have more people of different faiths and walks of life hone into using the method. Now, is it harmful? No. I think putting too much faith into anything can be harmful. But then again, that's what faith is, right? It's a leap. There's a big jump that you have to take a leap of faith, and some leaps of faith are larger leaps than others. But was it worth the try? Yes, because I think that the results of me being calm, cool, and collective in the situations that I was very helpful in my own life. But was it because of the method, the Silva UltraMind ESP method? No. I don't see the results of that being from their teachings. I don't see anything extraordinary that happened from these altercations and different episodes with people that didn't just come from me being calm, cool, and collective, which I can relate back to literally just me meditating for like 15 minutes a day for a week, and then like collecting my thoughts, regrouping, and then coming out of just a relaxing state where I've shut down my other faculties. I'm not listening to the external factors around me. I wasn't like I was doing this at dinner time when I had to make the kids dinner or nothing. It was like, I found a quiet portion of my day, usually in the evenings when all the kids were sleeping, where I could close my eyes, not have any visual stimuli, kind of cut down cutting down the sensory faculties. So like, no, I wasn't trying to smell things, wasn't trying to listen to other things around me, I wasn't talking. I was talking internally to myself as I walked through these processes, or talk to people that I wanted to address problems with, and it allowed me to kind of work through some of the problems. But it wasn't like where they say, hey, brother-in-law Bill, stop smoking. And then the next day he was like, I just don't feel like smoking cigarettes anymore, and I'm throwing them in the garbage. Like, no, that was one of the stories that Miss Lytle describes, and like, or maybe that's a little exaggerated, but she's like, hey, just stop smoking one day. Like, and it was literally the day after I had went to Level and wished this for him. Like, yeah, but that's coincidence. Is that story real? I don't know. Like, I don't know Jose Silva. I can't know him. He's, other than by his works, and almost all of his works now are literally just like other people that knew him regurgitating the method that he developed. So like that's now like them remembering what he taught them, and then incorporating it into a series of lectures, as well as giving downtime to utilize, for you to utilize the system, yada yada, and have different episodes of practice. But do I think the system works? No. Do I think it's beneficial? Yes, because it leads people to meditate and collect their own thoughts, and maybe it boosts them to deal with problems that they normally wouldn't deal with. I think I mentioned this. I reference Jordan Peterson quite a bit. He's a life-changing force in my life. He states that like most people's problem is not the problem, it's addressing the problem or even facing it. So like, you've got to get out of bed. You don't want to. Like, maybe it's because of depression. Okay, hold on one second, folks. It's Sunday morning. They were eating breakfast, and they were told to just cool their jets and calm down for a minute. And as soon as their breakfast got finished, it's let's chase each other around the house. Well, Dad was trying to bang out a quick podcast and a quick review on the Silva UltraMind system, which I didn't tell them that because it would go right over their head. They'd be like, huh? But yep. So. Anyways, no. Do I think one of the biggest problems people have is not facing the problem, right? Like, let's say you have to take the trash out, or let's say you have to deal with somebody at work that you don't want to deal with. You don't want to deal with them. So the biggest hurdle to you is not dealing with that person. It's even just like taking basic steps to dealing with that person. You don't want to initiate it because you don't want to deal with it. So like you actually like come up with, it's like the fact that the problem is in your way, you're more likely to turn around and run from the problem. And then it becomes like, well, I can't address the problem because I'm too busy running away from it. And then it's like, well, no, why don't you stop running away from the problem and address it? Like so I think that, like when you start getting your meditation done and you start getting your mental faculties in line and you say, oh, there's an answer. I can solve this problem by this thing right here. Hey guys! Alright. Alright, caramba. So anyways, they, kids. So, does... Oh, man. Guys, can you take this somewhere else? You promised you'd be quiet. You know, I'm on the... Yes, you can take it. I'm done. I'm almost done. I got 2 more minutes. They finished their breakfast. They finished 3 drinks apiece, and they're still thirsty, hungry, and just want to run around the house. So, oh boy. But being calm, cool, and collective. I mean, like, really, like, you just gotta deal with it, and you know, it is what it is. Yeah. So, I think getting people to their mental faculties of, I think getting people to their mental faculties and addressing problems in their brain and making them think that the problems are attainable, which is correct because the problems are attainable. Most problems people have are something they just got to pull the Band-Aid off of and they don't want to. So if they think that, oh, I can just do this magic thing and get the problem solved, I think yes, that's where this becomes beneficial. And does it have all these magic things? No. But does it give people the illusion that they can solve their own problems? Yes. And it's not really an illusion. They can. They just needed a push, and they needed something that makes their problems seem more attainable. And then being able to clear their minds and actually see that the problem is so easy and solvable right in their own brains is it is what it is. So that's my review, guys. I know there's a lot of people in the comment section that have been waiting on my review, and here it is. So I hope you like this. I hope I didn't pop any of your bubbles, but that's my honest opinion. That's my take on the Silva UltraMind ESP system. I gotta go tend to these kids now. So, because 5 minutes after finishing breakfast, they're already tearing my house apart. So, we'll catch you guys next time. Life22. We'll see you later.